I've said over and over again, I don't like to cover Jimin specific videos and songs because I get the awkwards, I get the feels, I'm afraid of being utterly and irrevocably cringy. Hey, welcome back. It's been a hot minute or three. As per, if you've been around here for a while, you know that I go through unexpected anxiety situations because when are anxiety fluctuations expected, right? When that happens, I tend to kind of disappear. Anyhow, welcome back. My name's Ashley Sue if you're new here. Here we talk about midlife, mental health, and BTS primarily. How remarkably BTS pulls all these things together and more. I've done a lot of BTS reflections in the last couple weeks while I've been not here, and my ARMYversary is coming up. How many of you actually have a date for your ARMYversary? Anybody? I happen to have a date, but that's a little bit remarkable to me that there's a date where I go, that's the day I became ARMY. And I still wasn't willing to admit the word ARMY because I had my own hang-ups about that. Everybody I've ever talked to, except for one person, has been able to tell me the song or video that pulled them in. My ARMYversary is coming up here in a month from today. Wow. While no, I was not able to buy tickets. I got kicked off the thing a gazillion and a half times. It's weird, some people got tickets to all 4 nights somehow, and some people weren't able to get tickets at all, but my dear friend actually does have tickets, and I am blessed to be going with her. So we will be there, I will be there on December the 1st. All of these first tours, this is a mini tour even for those of you who get to go see them when a real big tour happens probably in 2022. This is huge. It's gonna be huge for BTS and for ARMY involved. It's really exciting. It's exciting. That said, I've got stuff kind of laid out here and there, so if you see boxes and stuff back here, I'm actually trying to make Christmas ornaments to give out to some ARMY that I meet at the concert in LA. I haven't been crafting in a long time, so if they look like one of my preschoolers made them, I apologize. Yay! I want to be able to make something to give people. I wish I could give an ornament to every single person in the stadium and every person I walk past who's an ARMY. I don't have the time or ability to make that many ornaments. And real quick about the concert, because I am going, and I know a lot of people, a lot of wonderful people who I communicate with here or who have communicated with me, and I've been too chicken to reply to a lot of you. I'm so sorry. I know that a lot of you cannot go. I am trying to make either a shirt or a banner with everyone's names on it, and in a sense take you with me to the concert. So if you will, some of you did on my last video, if you will leave your name in the comments below, because a lot of you don't use your name in your handle. If you'll leave your name or what you would want me to write, if I were gonna take you to a BTS concert with me and name, what would you want it to say? Give me something here. What are we here for today? It's still Park Jimin's birthday month, and I did a birthday video for him. Oh my god, I didn't think I was gonna cry today. You guys probably know me better than me by now, right? So I thought I was going to get through this very lighthearted video without crying, and you already knew better. I guarantee you, if you've been around here, you already knew better. I'm watching In the Soup Season 1 right now. I'm on episode 5. I just finished episode 5 last night. Yeah, he was wearing this in episode 5. Oh my god, these men are so special. Jimin makes me tingly in my soul and in my body. Between being 41-year-old woman and being married essentially for 20 years, I feel really cringy thinking about how a video of me reacting to him honestly would come across to somebody looking at me as an old 41-year-old woman, or my husband. While I've been open that marriage is not easy and it's not a cakewalk, and there are no guarantees that a marriage will work out, I still love this man and want to respect him, and I wouldn't want him to feel weird about anyway. And I also wonder about family members. They stumbled across this, what they think. And in the end, I kind of don't give a but at the same time, that it's hard to completely kick insecurities, right? Which is exactly why we're here. Because I find it imperative to get over myself to make a video in response to Park Jimin. I've talked about a bunch before. If we had a chance to just talk to any one of the guys, what would you say to them? Would you thank them for something? Would you tell them personally what that particular man has done to change your life and change your world? What would you do? What would you say? Just like that gorgeous clip of the reactor who, after watching Serendipity, was like touching Jimin on the screen and saying,
I just wanted to stare in his eyes, low key. High key. Y'all just can't help staring into your eyes, bro. The hell? Pause. Wait. First of all, Jimin's lips studying your face right now. Like, you already saying to me, let me appreciate you because you gave me something. Let me give something back to you, and just like touch your lips, bro. What's wrong with me?
Here's my thank you to you, Park Jimin. So let's do this. Let's talk about Serendipity, which I have so avoided. It's kind of miraculous that I did a reaction to his performance of Filter, because that was smoking hot and sexy and brings out the tingles and the feels of mind, body, and spirit. Serendipity is not when I fell in love with Jimin, but it is, you know, it was a step toward that. And this is not our first reaction to Serendipity. So let's talk about Park Jimin, Serendipity, and our need to be loved and appreciated in our physical body. I never felt good about my body. I grew up very tall very quickly. I grew up very skinny to the point where there were people, my friends' parents would be concerned that I had eating disorder, which I did not. I was very flat-chested, very big feet, very big nose, and I was very insecure about all of these things, all through and especially through high school, because welcome to being a teen. I went to college, gained my freshman 15, didn't feel good about that either. That racked on like a whole new set of insecurities. While I was in that dichotomy of being told you're too skinny and you look not healthy and you need to gain weight, I also was being told by other people that I was lucky I wasn't going to ever be a fat ass. But I gained my freshman 15, still had no chest, and was trying to navigate those feelings. And I finally came to peace with my larger body. And by larger body, I mean I was 5'8" and 145 pounds, and still flat-chested. And that's where I was when I got married at the age of 30. The months before my wedding, which, again, my husband and I have been dating at that point for 10 years. But the months before, my body started acting crazy, and I knew things were off. I knew things weren't working great for my body, but I kind of hawked it up to I had just started jogging, and I'd never been a jogger. We were buying a house and working on renovating it, and we were planning the wedding. So, okay, there's like stress involved, and that's okay. Everything will work out once we get moved in and get married. 2 months after we got married, I was diagnosed as postmenopausal. If you know anything about menopause and you know anything about infertility, then you know the term FSH. It is the hormone in your body that makes your ovaries kick eggs out. These numbers don't mean anything to you, but the way my doctor informed me is you have the ovaries of a 60-year-old. You're not just kind of postmenopausal, you rapidly, that's it. Everything shut down. It was gone. It was like, that was ripped from me, and I fell into a really deep depression, self-loathing over my body, the brokenness of my body. I felt unworthy of love. I felt unworthy of being touched. I felt repulsed by my body, and the fact that in my head, that was my job. Was, I don't believe that every woman needs to have a child, but for those who want to have a child, like, that was what my body was supposed to do, and suddenly it was incapable, and I was really grossed out by myself. So after a year or so of pretty bad depression about that, lots of prayer, lots of meditation, changing my diet, volunteering at the art museum, getting a job at the art museum, trying to make new friends, trying to figure out how to like pull my life back together again. I was just starting to pick myself back up again when my daddy killed himself. Just kind of like bam, 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 bam of of crap. My marriage, the communication had been weathering away. We don't communicate the same anyhow, and that's always been a struggle. But now with all these hardships that we had never faced before, the communication was gone. Like, just, I gained more weight. After infertility, I gained about 40 pounds in the year after being diagnosed. I went from being 145 to being 185. And then in the year after my dad's death, I gained nearly another 40 pounds and topped out at about 220. And that's where I stayed for a significant amount of time. Skip ahead another couple years. 2017, I felt like I failed my smile again. I was starting to get happy again, you know, and then of course more life happened. And I felt like no matter what I was doing to try to get my life back and to enjoy marriage and to try to get my health back and try to get a life back, I felt like I just kept hitting brick walls everywhere I turned. In the midst of that, we got a random phone call and suddenly became parents of a perfect baby boy. Then within 2 months, became parents of a perfect 1-year-old girl. Everything that was a crack before. My bad eating habits, my messed up sleep schedule, my unresolved feelings of grief, my complete isolation. I don't live anywhere near family that we're close to. And then family that we do see more often, I'm kind of on a different frequency than, as far as what I want out of life and how I communicate and things that are like important in my heart. And all the fissures that were in my marriage, have been in my marriage, everything was amplified so badly by having 2 tiny humans here and nobody, like it was us. It's literally the 4 of us and our cat jammed in this house, and isolation, just complete and utter isolation. And then the pandemic happened. So any chance of like getting unisolated, that was shot also. But really the truth of it is, I had never loved myself. 2 things. I had always relied on someone else to love me so much that they could assure me I was worthy of being loved. And I relied on my own willingness to accept that assurance. And that varied based on whether or not I felt worthy of being loved. And as I've gained weight and gotten older and not loved, like my battles with depression and anxiety, and as I battled with these parts of myself, like I wanted to be a mom for so long. Now I'm a mom. So why is it so flipping hard? As I battled with these parts of myself, I hated myself more than I'd ever hated myself. It just, you know, it went from being an insecure teenager to just flat out self-loathing. I feel like anybody who would love me and love on me is a fool because I'm not worthy of it. I had lost some weight at this point, but still at a body hovering at around 50 pounds overweight, and the signs of age and gravity having taken hold of this body. A body full of female organs that are irreparably broken. I just felt like I was decaying. I felt like everything good and with spark and with life in it had decayed. And there's like a world full of spark and greenery and beautiful out there. So why would anybody waste their time loving this when they can find something alive out there? That all goes back to me not loving myself, because it didn't matter how much somebody else would have even been willing to give me that assurance and that love. Nobody could assure me. So in the midst of like all of these feelings that have come to a culmination, a peak, Dynamite found me. Yay, new body problems. I had just ruptured my spine, not ruptured, slipped a disc, and was in intense back rehab when Dynamite and the choreography to Dynamite, that hip thing that Jungkook does is like, I wanted to learn that hip thing so badly, and meanwhile I couldn't even sleep on my hip. Anyway, I've told the story 100 times now about how Dynamite found me, and then that turned into, like, it evolved into BTS giving me the will to live on my ARMYversary, but my ARMYversary with them is far from my only peak with them. It was just my first peak with them. Learning and loving Park Jimin is a peak within itself. So in December and January of last year, when I started taking a few videos and started to watch the compilation videos, and I'm seeing all these videos of them super cutesy with like the little heart things on their face and like little blushing cheeks, and at first I was like, that's so cringy and so high school girl, that I didn't want to watch them. But then as I kept seeing hundreds of them, they're everywhere, and I thought, what about these men inspires people to make these like cutesy videos about them? So I finally clicked one. Oh my god, that Jimin really stood out to me. His incredible, sweet softness, his heart that feels so open that he almost seems wounded. Like, how can your heart be that pulled open to feelings? It's incredible. And then at the same time, he has this wild, primal sexual energy that like just makes him incredibly sexy. And then the talent, Jimin, right? Jimin. Early this spring, I was going through a period where I was listening to Serendipity a lot. I'd actually seen the video, wow. Then I watched a few reactors, Jimin snatching men like Pokemons. And every night I would go to bed and I would put my earbuds on. And when Serendipity would come on, oh my God, just the feels, right? And one night in particular, it hit me extra hard. Serendipity, when I would listen to it, it made me think a lot about how I wanted to feel loved like that. I wanted to feel like he was serenading me, and I want to smother somebody in that love outwardly also, like that freely as the song. And then I just felt disgust for myself, and it occurred to me how any one of the men of BTS would be absolutely grossed out by my body. That if any of them saw me, they would feel either sad for me or just grossed out. But our beautiful, beautiful BTS men are so alive and so beautiful and so young, and it just triggered all those feelings I have of like, there's life out there, and then there's this saggy, wrinkling, lopsided body of decay. Why would any of them even look at me, not feel just repulsed by me? Felt really just heartbroken that I'm so unworthy of being loved. Around this same period, I'd actually started studying Korean a little more intensively, and I had downloaded an app. Memrise is a great app for learning Korean. And when I was listening to Serendipity, I heard Jimin say, "Kunyan." The word just. And I had just learned that word. And it was the first time I heard so clearly them say something in Korean and knew what they were saying. And suddenly I felt like Jimin was actually singing to me. I lost my breath. My heart was racing. I mean, it was so exciting. And I just lay there in the dark listening to his voice. It's not even just just let me love you. Oh my God, just let me love you. You know, that strikes something, right? Like that's, just let me love you. But it was, when you see me, when you touch me, that was like the line that just, because it was reciprocal. Does that make sense? Like, he's singing about wanting to love me, but then talking about when I see him and touch him, and I just realized that my body was not the problem. It was how I felt about my body. I've felt trapped in this body and miserable about it, and therefore been treating it badly also, which is also in turn treating your soul badly. And with that one experience of Serendipity, it's like I realized my body is beautiful and precious, and I thought about Jin with Epiphany, and while yes, like Jin actually helped me, seriously, Jin's epiphany made me think about this precious soul of mine, and now Jimin's making me think about this precious body of mine, and how my soul deserves to have my body loved also, and how all of this is worthy. My soul is worthy, My body with my lopsided, sagging boobs and my ripply hips and thighs, it's still worthy of love and caress and pleasure. Suddenly, because of Serendipity, my body felt alive again, and it hadn't felt alive in a long time. But Jimin's voice and the lyrics, I felt a type of alive that I just had lost and didn't think I could ever get back. While it sounds like all this feeds back into like, well, I'm being externally validated by men who don't even actually know me. But the bizarre thing is I realize I'm worthy of all that and I deserve all that because that's what my heart wants and that's what my body craves. And at the same time, realizing that made me realize I'm fine if I never, ever actually get that. Just knowing I'm worthy of it and that it's okay for me to crave being loved on and to crave being able to love freely onto is something I am very, very worthy of. It's part of what makes me alive, and that it's okay that a man in Korea who will never know me personally is the one that made me feel that kind of awareness about myself again, and to believe that that exists. It's okay if I never actually get it. I don't have to settle. I don't have to settle, and I don't have to loathe myself. I don't have to hate myself. If I'm not getting it, it doesn't mean that I'm not deserving of it. But knowing that I am worthy of it is how I can love myself. Does any of this make sense, or am I just like rambling onwardly forever like I tend to do? Jimin. Park Jimin. He is so much and too much and incredible and beautiful. Since I've had that feeling with him, I continue to get the tingles of mind, body, and soul. If you watched my ultra cringy thirst trap video of my reaction to the Permission to Dance R&B remix, because that song sounds like there are no clean explanations, no clean words, no appropriate ways for me to explain the feelings that song gives me. And since then, I've had other things I'm going to link below here. There is a fantastic, I wish it were still happening in LA. It closed up at the end of September. There was an art exhibition from someone named Monica. Oh no, I can't remember the artist's last name. She did an incredible exhibition, and it was, I believe, her very first exhibition, called The Things That We Hide, Hidden Disabilities.
Our society is a very go-getter, do it for yourself, putting yourself up by the bootstraps, really doesn't leave room for people who need help. And asking for help is not something that people often feel comfortable doing. I want to let people know that it's okay to say what is going on, what you're hiding. A lot of my work, as you can see, has masks. I'm exploring the inner and outer persona and the masks that we hide behind. And to pass as normal, as they say, has been exhausting. And it is exhausting because of the kind of the energy it takes to look normal, whatever normal happens to be in the community we're in. People are always hiding something about themselves. And it could be someone who doesn't feel comfortable coming out as LGBTQ, or doesn't feel comfortable coming out as the gender that they know that they really are, either to family or to friends. Maybe it is depression and anxiety.
Anyway, please, the link below is, I think, about 7 minutes long. The exhibition, oh my gosh, it really, really spoke to me. And then I had an excellent conversation with my dear friend. I don't even know if I should say your name in videos. You have to let me know how you feel about that, if you even watch. I don't know if you watch. I don't want to ever assume anything. My dear friend and I were talking about body acceptance and how that's not enough. And she actually sent me a link to a podcast, Brene Brown and Sonya Renee Taylor. It's an excellent podcast. I will also put the link to that below, where they're talking about learning to love your body, like full on love your body, not just accept it, because acceptance is sort of like tolerating, and there's a lot in life we have to tolerate, right? We have to tolerate If, for instance, even with our body, if we have an illness, we have to tolerate that. We have to tolerate some of the hardships of like daily life. And sometimes we have to tolerate like much bigger things from other people. There's a lot in our lives we don't have to tolerate, and our bodies shouldn't be one of them, no matter what the state of your body, no matter the size that you've allowed your body to get, or that a health condition has made your body go to. No matter if you are born with a disability or something has happened that you have acquired a different ableness. Tolerating and accepting your body. Maybe that's the first step toward not loathing yourself, but really, like, we need to radically love our bodies. We need to, like, instead of me whining about my hangy lopsided boobs, I just need to be like, y'all are looking good. Y'all are looking good. Are these the hottest boobs on the planet? No. Like Jen would say, no. Y'all are looking good.
저는 저 자신을 너무 사랑해서
좀 덜 사랑해도 될 것 같아.
주변 사람들이 말려요. 저는 거울을 볼 때마다 진짜 막 최고로 잘생겼다 이런 게 아니라 너무 제 마음에 들게 생긴 거예요.
진짜 자기를 사랑한 거지, 진짜. 와, 진짜 희귀하다. 자기 마음에 들게 생겼다니.
거울 보면서 석진아, 넌 진짜 오늘도 끝내준다. 어떻게 이러냐.
저런 캐릭터예요.
이거를 하루에 한 번씩만 읊어줘도 저 자신을 더 사랑하겠죠.
진짜 좋을 것 같아요. 진짜 좋은 방법이에요, 진짜로.
진짜 이런 방법을 찾게 되면 되게 좋을 것 같아요.
Like, regardless, my whole body, whatever part is there and not perfect, it all tells a story of survival and thriving in ways and hope. And it's like my job to love that and try to take care of that, but where I've failed to take care of it, still love it. Is this something that, like, do you understand what I'm saying at all? I swear the podcast is so good. You really should listen to it. And please watch that video from the artist, Monica. It's so good. So now that I've explained how Jimin and Serendipity have taken me to a place of loving, that even though my waddle is like a very real thing that will probably never go away, because even when I was skinny I had it. I've never had like that nice jawline that the men of BTS have. I can appreciate that, like, I have smooth skin, and I don't know. From one moment to the next, I don't exactly know what it means to love my body and myself, but I constantly am working toward that. Much like Jimin himself has talked about having to learn to do for himself. We've seen strides in that man. If you look back at videos and how hard he's been on himself over the years, and yet how in stride he handled his UNGA moment. What a great shining example they all are of constantly trying to be self-aware and forgiving and loving of themselves, even the parts of themselves that they're not exactly elated about. Is this a message that's resonating with you at all, or have I just talked for like a half an hour rambling and making no sense at all? Let's watch Serendipity. Again, this is in no way a first reaction. Now this is on Her, right? Love Yourself, Her. My only complaint with this video, and I will go ahead and say it, and I've had a couple of you tell me that I don't think you like when I say this, but that's fine, you feel differently. I don't like when they wear contacts. The hair color changes, the costumes, like no matter how not costumed they're wearing, like when they're just wearing like athletic gear or when they're ultra costumed, it's all spectacular. And I know that the contacts are just another example of playing with image, and that's awesome. Unfortunately for me, eyes are the gateway to the soul. And a song like Serendipity is so soulful that I personally wish that they always had their contacts out, because their eyes are so beautiful and so dark and so deep and special. That and their moles. I wish that their makeup was never covering their moles, and that their eyes were always, anyway. So let's watch Serendipity, the Love Yourself, Her Serendipity comeback trailer. I love that he got to do the comeback trailer. That's so sweet. All right. What's up, big hit?
모든 건 우연이 아니야. 그냥 나의 느낌으로 온 세상이 어제와는 달라. 그냥 너의 기쁨으로
Hold on, I already want to listen to that one more time.
나는 너의 꽃으로
그냥.
이 모든 건 우연이 아니야
I love how often they say that in songs.
그냥 나의 느낌으로 온 세상이 어제와는 달라 그냥 너의 기쁨으로 네가 날 불렀을 때 나는 너의 꽃으로 기다렸던 것처럼 우리 시리도록 펴
Feet.
어쩌면
Oh.
우지의 섭리 그냥 그랬던 거야 You know I know 너는 나는 너 설레는 만큼 많이 두려워 분명히 우린 자꾸 질투했어 너만큼 나도 많이 무서워 When you see me When you touch me 후추가 우릴 위해 움직였어 조금의 어긋남조차 없었어
That smile.
너의 행복은 예정됐던 걸 Cause you love me And I love you 넌 내
Oh, I love that feeling. Oh, I love that feeling so much. Oh, that's magic. I'm your calico cat. That look of like just joy, liberation on his face. Oh. Cutie, sexy, lovely.
Let me love you.
God. He's too sweet. He's too sweet. Should we watch his performance also? While we're enjoying. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be part of the Purple Ocean. I can't even fathom.
이 모든 건 우연이 아니야 그냥 너의 느낌으로 온 세상이 어제와 달라 그냥 너의 기쁨으로 네가 날
That was a smooth transition.
너는 나의 꽃으로 기다렸던 것처럼
Hey, Russell.
우리 시리도록 펴 어쩌면 우주의 섭리 그냥 그랬던 거야 You know I know 너는 너 설레는 만큼 많이 두려워 운명이 우리 자꾸 질투했어 너만큼 나도 많이 무서워 When you see me When you touch me 우주가 우리 위해 움직였어 조금의 어긋남조차 없었어 너와 내 행복은 예정됐던 걸 Cause you love me And I love you 넌내 푸른 감방이 날 구원해준 나의 천사
His moves are so pure. His voice and his moves are so pure. Oh my god, that smile. When they do the hip and knee thing. pains me that they will not be performing this in their tour. Maybe ever again. Pains me. I think men need to wear more rhinestones and more harnesses. We all need to wear more smiles. Look at that smile. What's he doing to us? Oh. Thank you for watching with me. He's so precious.
We love you.
Oh my God, it's too sweet. And he is sweet and perfect and beautiful. Perfect in his imperfections, the way you are also. You are not perfect. I am so far from perfect. I am one jacked, imperfect, messed up human being. And I'm also completely perfect in who I am. I have bad habits and things I need to change and work on, want to change and work on. I'm not saying that we need to accept. I'm not saying we need to tolerate and accept the parts of us that are crummy and then be like, take it or leave it. But we also do have to love the fact that we can't fix all of it, that we're gonna try, but that some of it's gonna be a struggle, whether it's our body or our minds, because like I said, I realized my body wasn't the problem, my mind was. And I'm not willing to tolerate any more feeling that way about myself. And I hope that you're not either. I hope that either Jimin or one of the other guys, or that you listen to Brene Brown, Sonya, Renee Taylor podcast, that you watch the 7-minute video, the art exhibition about hidden disabilities and the things that we hide. And I hope something moves you a little closer toward loving yourself in all your capacities. Cousin, I believe that our souls are eternal. Bulletproof the eternal. I believe that our souls are eternal. I believe in heaven, but we are also gifted this life, and it is not an easy life to be given, and it is not a gift that is always magical and happy, but it's meant to be. I sincerely believe God intended for us to feel pleasure and to accept that and to know that we're worthy of that because He created us. Because why else? Why else were we given the gift of BTS in our life? I love you. God loves you. BTS loves you. Park Jimin loves you. And want you, we all of us want you to love yourself in the best way you can today, and hopefully tomorrow better than today. Have a good weekend, and I'll be back in 24 to 48 hours.
모든 건 정해진 거였어. Just let me